The importance of creating equivalent fractions. So adding and subtracting fractions is important to creating equivalent fractions, placing them in the correct order. I'm assuming by now everyone has memorized their times table. If we pick up from our last video, I stated that multiplication is a form of checking our divisions, and fractions is a form of division. 1 over 15. You have a numerator and you have a denominator, and it's generally dividing. So here we have adding fractions here, right? So for example, we have 1 over 3, or 1/3. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to create an equivalent fraction by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by 2. So 1 times 2 is 2, and 3 times 2 is 6. We're stating the exact same thing here. So 1 over 3 equals 2 over 6. Now we're going to take 1 over 3 and we're going to multiply by 3. So that'll give us a numerator of 1 times 3 equals 3. Okay, and in the denominator we're going to multiply by 3, and that'll give us 3 times 3 equals 9 in the denominator. 1 over 3 times 4, well, 1 times 4 is 4, and then 3 times 4 is 12. So these are all equivalent fractions. 1 over 3 equals 2 over 6, 2 over 6 equals 3 over 9, and 3 over 9 equals 4 over 12. Now, let's do some addition here. Let's start adding fractions here and forming organization, keeping them in order here. But we're going to change the denominators. So we have 1 over 3 plus 3 over 4. Well, we're going to try to find a common denominator, or the least common denominator, right? So 3 and 4. Let's find the LCM, the least common multiple, all right? Or in this case, the least common denominator, because they're fractions. The top portion is a numerator, the bottom portion of the fraction is a denominator, so that's the least common denominator. All right, now if we multiply 3 by 4, we get 12, okay, and whatever we do to the denominator, we have to do to the numerator. And how about 4? What can we multiply 4 by to equal 12? Well, we're going to have to multiply by 3, all right, to give us a denominator of 12, excuse me. And whatever we do to the denominator, we're going to do to the numerator. So let's start here. So multiply by each other, all right. So we're going to take 3 times 4, and then for a second fraction we're going to take 4 times 3, and then we're going to jump right back in to our first fraction, put 1 times 4, and then we're going for a second fraction in the numerator, we're going to write 3 times 3. So now after the multiplication we're left with 4 over 12 plus 9 over 12. There we go. Now adding is simple at this point. All we have to do is just add the numerators and leave the denominator the same, giving us 13 over 12. And that's kind of why the importance of creating equivalent fractions, to place some form of order.